Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about the takeover that is going to break NBA 2K22 Next Gen for good. And when I say for good, I hope it's not actually for good, because I hope they patch this right here. And it definitely needs a nerf to some extent. For anybody at 2K who's watching this, I highly recommend that you guys tone this takeover down a little bit. I think just in general, toning down the doubling up on the takeover is something that needs to be toned down in general. But this one right here, you're going to see some crazy clips in this video. So I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. And like always, just trying to get 1 to 1,000 likes. Alright, so this right here is going to be the very first thing I want to show you guys in this video. So what you're going to see is a first person view from my boy SK right here. And it is going to show you how much this takeover actually goes up for one block with double rim takeover and accelerator as the takeover perk. Now, one thing I want to mention is you can see Mio has his double takeover and I have my single. We have pretty much 100% come to the conclusion that this does not duplicate. So for instance, if you're running single and someone else is running double, it doesn't make it triple or anything like that. It's literally just double, and whatever the highest level is what is accepted. And you can't double up on single takeover, and it doesn't make it any faster either. But what you're gonna see, and I hate that this is the only clip I have of it because we do have these two takeovers activated, but as you're gonna see in this clip, SK's takeover is gonna go from almost single to literally fully on team with accelerator on in one block. That is insane. And we'll go ahead and run this back one more time for you guys to see. It is ridiculous how crazy this stuff is. And you're gonna see, boom, one block, team takeover, just like that. Literally no Photoshop, no editing, no nothing like that. Literally one block. Alright, so like you guys saw in the intro, Team Takeover Boost is going to boost the progress of each of your teammates' takeover meters when activated. So when you have two of them on at the same exact time, so mind you, you have to have both slots with the Team Takeover Booster. You can see all three of us, 1 through 3, have this activated right now. We're just on here to test stuff out. I know a lot of people are going to see that it's in the rec and stuff like that. You got a couple gatekeepers in there talking about you're bringing a whole 5 into rec just to sweat. What are you doing? I'm level 40 on top of that, so yes, I understand why you're mad. But again, this is one game. We literally played one game just for the video, just to show you guys how this works. And later into the video, we'll also explain why maybe we have all three, 1 through 3, as this. I even got on my 99 overall build just for this, so I wasn't even getting any badge progress toward a build I might have needed it for. But either way, I'll explain later in the video why all three of us have it. I'll explain maybe how we use it in terms of all three of us being able to have it as well. And then also we have Tonic intentionally running Extender as one of his takeover perks, and then we have SK, your uncle's Xbox, he has Accelerator on as well, and they're both going to run double rim take. This is paint intimidation for anybody who's curious, just to touch all bases and stuff like that. But anyway, to explain what we're going to be doing for this first little 5 minutes or so in the first quarter, or I would say pretty much the first 3 minutes, we are just trying to get me, AK, and Mio all their takeovers. And first and foremost, I need to mention, shout out to Mio. He's playing at the one spot right here in this game, and he's the one who put me onto this, and we wanted to have him team up with me and my homies and stuff like that, and just allow us to maybe understand more fully how to use this. So to fast forward a little bit right here, I'm very close to my first takeover. Now what I'm going to show you and maybe explain in a better way is to allow you to see this. So Mio gets the ball, I'm coming in for the lob right here, I get the contact alley-oop to go in, and that's kind of fire in the first place. But anyway, I have my single takeover. I'm going to go ahead and pop this right here, and once this has been done, I have single on right now. It's going to allow everybody on the team to be able to get their takeover a little bit faster. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that we definitely are trying to get somebody on the team to have 2 of these activated at the same time. So not as in me and another person both having it on single take, but for somebody on the team to have double takeover on. Now, what you're going to see happen instead is Tonic was pretty close to getting team anyway because he was getting some good blocks and stuff. So what's going to happen is Tonic activates his team takeover off of that right there. Now, I understand that's not the best explanation on how to do it and how it can be utilized the best, because all I did, like I said, was just pop one of them. I don't have anything to show you guys because I wasn't pressing start or pause or whatever the case may be to actually show the stats and stuff very often. But what I can say is Tonic had 3 blocks to that point, so he was very close to team takeover. Mind you, again, I showed in the intro, he was running Extender as his takeover perk, so that is very hard to access. But either way, he was getting a lot of blocks and interior contests and stuff like that. It was probably a good team to match up against in terms of being able to showcase this in the video, because not every team you play in the rec is going to just be the paint mashers and stuff like that, or the people who are just spamming contested standing layups and getting blocked inevitably on all of them. But anyway, long story short, everything that we're doing right now doesn't exactly like help anything. You can see my single takeover isn't changing at all. This little meter right here, when team takeover is activated, it's not going to go anywhere. So we'll just go ahead and fast forward to the next point that I will talk about, which is right at the quarter break. So between the quarter breaks, you're going to see my single takeover actually decrease right here. So nothing was decreased at all, but then between the quarter break, it does go down a little bit as well. This goes for literally anybody on the court that has their actual takeover popped. So for instance, Tonic is the one that actually popped the team takeover. I'm the one who popped the single takeover. So our meters will go down between the quarter breaks. Pretty much actually anybody is going to lose theirs between the quarter breaks to some extent, because the progress does go down between quarters in terms of anybody's takeover, whether you've popped it or not. So realistically, the quarter break is something you can't avoid. It's just a situation that is going to be in the game. But either way, like I said, these guys aren't really the best people to play against either. I hate that we had to do it to them. You know, I mean, I don't want to be in this wreck stuff in the first place. I just wanted to showcase this for one video and only hop in here for one game. We really could have done this for team pro-am, but understandably it wasn't going to showcase the best for the video. But realistically, you guys can kind of see it's a lot of paint mashing. They're going in on the big man. Anyway, wanted to explain that at 4 minutes and 12 seconds right here, as soon as Tonic got the steal, is when his team takeover ran out. So I still have a little bit of progress left on mine. So the agenda here, as far as what we're trying to get at, because mind you, Tonic is very minimal on his takeover right now. Like, it's literally at the bottom. It's at the floor right now. So what we're gonna try and do is get AK or Mio a little bit involved, where they can get their own takeover to get back up to maybe double take or something like that, so that Tonic or SK will be able to get their takeover even faster again. So pretty much to explain, the guys at the 1 through 3 are essentially trying to help our 4 through 5 actually get the team takeover. So there will be some times where maybe me, for instance, popped up like team takeover, where you're gonna see later in the video. I try and hit AK right there, he greens it and 1 on the AI. I mean, realistically, CPUs just, they're not gonna get the greatest contest, so it is what it is. And another thing I want to mention too is, with me having the playmaker takeover activated, just play take in general, it's gonna help your teammates' ability to just shoot the ball, and it's really kind of cheese in terms of getting AK easy shots that he really doesn't even have to get open for, as if it's even hard to get open in this game. But right there, I try and hit AK again, and it's just too late. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and fast forward and kind of cut to all the good points where I can showcase exactly what's going on. All right, I lied. I'm not going to fast forward anything, because this is the exact point I would have wanted to get to. So I hit this dude with the screen right here. AK had a very open shot, ends up moving, boom. He still gets a pretty open shot with 5%. He has double takeover activated right here. Not activated, but it's ready to be activated. And what I'm going to kind of explain too, this is not going to last forever, his takeover. So what we're doing is, I'm telling him don't pop it until boom, right where Tonic might actually be able to get a block. And then boom, you can see he does pop the double takeover right there. I'm going for a steal, whatever the case may be. What I ended up realizing is, if all I'm ever going to do is pop single takeover, what I could do is just run something in the secondary slot that's going to help me get my takeover faster. So for instance, I could run lock takeover or slasher takeover in the secondary slot if my job on the team is going to be to only run single takeover. So for instance, what I'm trying to do is be the pivot guy, where I can pop single to help our guards get double faster, and then when our guards get double, then boom, our bigs are going to start going crazy. Plus anything that our bigs do when I have single activated is going to also help. I know there's going to be somebody out here, there's probably multiple people out here who are just super confused by what I'm saying right now and aren't really following, but I feel like I'm explaining this as well as possible. So to explain another thing too that is going to be super beneficial for us is that AK, like I was mentioning, has his double takeover activated. You don't have to pass to anybody to actually boost this, if that wasn't already clear enough by Tonic getting his by blocking shots. But anyway, AK over here that you can't see, it's down on the screen, he has the double playmaker takeover activated. Mio has a wide open 3 right here. Him having his takeover on, AK on the left wing that is helping Mio right here tremendously in terms of getting his own takeover. Now mind you, if Mio was running like sharp takeover as a secondary or something like that, that would let his takeover go up even more, and that would help him produce the team takeover even faster. Or what we can do is just cycle between the 2 guards in terms of running double takeover. So AK could run his double takeover, Mio could save his double takeover for when AK's runs out, and then boom, we have double takeover just constantly flowing, and we're just living off of team takeover from our bigs. All right, so here we are right here. Mio is wide open on the wing. This dude's just literally not covering him, so boom, off playmaker takeover. That's going in like almost every single time, and he has enough to pop his own team takeover. Now you're not always wanting your guard to like actually have to go for that team takeover, but if he has it, you might as well activate it. There's no point in saving it unless maybe you're trying to save it for the end of the quarter. But now, mind you, our bigs can't get any progress toward their team takeover, so it's kind of just a draw. You might as well just activate it whenever you can though, and you can see this dude's not having it. He's out of here. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna fast forward to the point where Mio's team takeover ends, which is gonna be 7 seconds into the second half. I have this all written down right here. So Mio's team take ends 7 seconds into the second half. He popped his at 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Now Tonic popped his at 1:50, and it lasted all the way until 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So it's essentially what I'm trying to say is Extender is going to allow you to have team takeover for 1 minute longer. So Extender is going to allow you to have team take for 3 minutes. Regular team takeover is going to last 2 minutes with Mio's, where he has Accelerator on. So anyway, like I said, this literally gets popped off like 7 seconds into the half. I'm just going to let you guys see it for anybody who's trying to study this and get all the number crunched down for themselves and stuff like that. But anyway, at 4 minutes, like 53 seconds, boom, you can see we run out of it. AK still has his double takeover. And then again, we got Paint Mash guy right here where it's going to be super productive for, you know, our bigs to be able to get their team takeover up. I try and hit Mio right there because again, AK still has his double takeover on, so any progress that Mio can get toward his is going to be super beneficial, because once the AK's runs out, then we're out of it entirely and we got to start from the ground up. So just keep all that in mind. And as you can see, AK's takeover does run out right there. However, SK gets a good shot contest right there, and then Mio is out on the break. Long story short is, all this stuff is going to build up your takeover already, as you normally would in the course of the game. But all this stuff is even more ridiculous when you have 3 people on your team trying to go for that stuff. It's really insane, man. And again, shot contest by SK right there, and we're out on the break once again. I also want to show you how this could go wrong for you. So for instance, we have Mio trying to get double takeover. He's at like single take and almost double, and what I'm going to do is set AK an off ball screen right here to the corner. Horrible idea. We should probably go from corner to wing with the off ball screen realistically, but anyway, our stupid selves, we try and do that. Boom, he loses all his takeover off trying to save for double, because we throw a turnover obviously where we were trying to set the off ball screen for AK to get his shot, and then Mio would have had double takeover. Boom, we popped the double take, then AK would have been having his progress go crazy. Long story short, it is what it is. You can't exactly get away with always saving it in a more competitive situation too, where maybe you don't have like a super soup team for rec, or you're playing like Team Pro-Am for instance. It's probably not gonna be the easiest thing to activate, but either way, boom, hit Mio with the flashy pass right there. Flashy does not add to the takeover by any means, and like I was mentioning to you guys, if we're in the situation where nobody has this activated, then we're just on regular playing field. You know what I mean? Nobody is getting their takeover on the court faster than normally would. But boom, I get the steal. I get double takeover almost activated. So I don't pop double because I'm super close to it. Then off that assist, I get super close to team takeover as well. So I once again am not going to pop the double because I might as well just get team. Right here, Tonic's going to get a block right there. And with his rim protector badge, it's going to allow me to get my team takeover off of that. Boom. I don't even pop team takeover. It was Tonic who popped it. And now I have my team takeover ready. As you can see, the right stick is still flashing in the top right corner. So I have my team takeover ready, and we have someone on the team already that even has it, like currently. And mind you, it's the one with extender too. So this is going to go all the way to the quarter break. But once again, we're going to just maybe fast forward and explain to you that once the quarter break hits, my takeover is going to just completely fall from grace. I mean, you're gonna see right here, it goes from team takeover to pretty much single off 1 quarter break. So Tonic's team takeover is gonna last until 4 minutes in the 4th quarter right here. So then once it does, I still have my single takeover. So I'm isoing, boom, I get past them. It's kind of, I don't even think to like pop it because I was just, you know, running point guard and stuff like that. So I do it right here, but it was kind of a waste because then Tonic does a hop to the corner, and time is precious when you have this single takeover on. And then on top of that too, the communication was bad. So AK had his double ready and I popped my single. So it was a complete waste. I didn't need to do that by any means and it was just dumb to do. But either way, you can see the power of this, that we have so much takeover on the court. I'm talking like we literally just came off of team. I had team ready, but then at the quarter end, it obviously went down to single. And then me and AK both can still pop our single and double takeover even through the quarter break and even through just, you know, having the team takeover where we don't get any progress toward it. So long story short, we're going to fast forward to 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the game right here, where pretty much my single takeover is running out right here. But either way, you're going to see SK gets a good shot contest right there and grabs the rebound. Boom. He's going to pop his team takeover, and just like that, we're back on it. As you can see, for the majority of the game, we're on like team takeover, or somebody on the team has a lot of takeover stuff going on, whether it's me on single for like pretty much the whole game, or AK having his double, Mio on double, all types of stuff like that. Mind you, once again, this is against like 4 AIs for almost the majority of the second half, and it was an AI at the 4 from the beginning as well. So don't get me wrong, we are some sweats coming into the rec, and we don't belong here in the first place. We should be playing at least Team Pro-Am in like ranked matchups and stuff like that. I mean, we'd be playing WR Pro-Am, like where it's private matchups against 2K League players and stuff like that. So it kind of is what it is. We don't belong in this court. You can see AK literally has like almost 60 points with a user on him for the majority of the game. But either way, my whole point is this is disgusting. However, I still wanted to mention there are downsides to this. For instance, our whole backcourt is running double playmaker takeover. Not that it's horrible, but I don't think the perk of playmaker takeover is really like through the roof, that you don't exactly want it on every one of your players when it comes to, especially your guards, like the dudes who are going to be shooting a lot of threes and stuff like that. You definitely want them to have sharp takeover, or maybe even shot creator takeover, something like that. You would want your lockdown to have lock takeover, like where I'm playing right now. And realistically, you don't just want everybody having double playmaker takeover. You can see Tonic doing crazy right there too. But either way, what I'm trying to get at right here is I don't think that doing what we did right here is super productive in terms of playing competitively, where again, you don't want all 3 people in the backcourt with double team takeover booster, where it's not even helping ratings go up on anybody's like actual stuff. So long story short, it does need to be patched. It needs to be nerfed to some extent, where it's not quite as good as how it actually is. But I do believe that it's not as good as I'm portraying in the video, where we really have 3 people running this with accelerator as well, and then we tried to intentionally have our big man like set up on extender and run double rim take just to actually be more productive. We came to rec where it was more likely that he was going to be playing against people who are paint mashing more and just forcing that stuff into the paint and stuff like that, where in Pro-Am it's going to be a lot more structured, a lot more kind of organized, so to say. Not to say that this isn't going to impact a lot of people in the rec. I will say I do feel kind of bad for the people who come into rec to try and play with like randoms and stuff. There's a whole game mode for you guys to play literally randoms who are playing with randoms, and for you to play against randoms. There's a whole 3v3 game mode for that. So I really don't suggest coming into rec with randoms in the first place, because there are going to be people who constantly hawk this night in and night out. Not me. This is literally my first rec game of the whole year, and my only rec game of the whole year as well. But long story short, there are going to be people who come in here with full squads hawking this for a living. Like they just come in here and they play 800 games in the year on straight rec, and they come in with a 5 every single time, like it's Team Pro-Am, sweating their life away. So I'm just telling you guys that you might see this a lot in rec. For Team Pro-Am, I don't even know. For Comp Pro-Am and WR stuff, they might even ban this in like actual tournaments and playoff series and stuff like that, but who knows? I'm just here to showcase to you guys, and I'm here to show 2K to maybe nerf it, patch it, whatever the case may be, because it is pretty crazy. So anyway, that's off video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. I'm not one that tries to claim certain videos and certain like concepts or anything like that, because first and foremost, it was Mio who should be claiming this in the first place. He's the one that put me onto this. But I think it's really corny when other YouTubers will try and claim something that someone else really made mainstream in the first place. And I'm not going to name any names when it comes to stuff like that, but realistically, let's just go ahead and let Mio have all the credit for this right here, because he is the one that introduced me to it, and he deserves. I don't think small YouTubers deserve to not see a lot of like come up or blow up off of making some really big trend or really big game-changing thing, and then some YouTuber just comes along and takes up all the credit. So anyway, I will leave Mio's link in the comments, the description, the pinned comment, all types of stuff like that, because I want him to get as much love for this as he can, because I wouldn't have known about this without him. So anyway, that's off video. If you made it to the very end, put team in the comments to show support to me all the way through. And like I said, if we can get this to 1,000 likes, I'd really appreciate that. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.